This shale slide is steep. How do you expect me to get down this?
I don't remember it being that bad. It's not even named on our topos.
It should be called Cripple Gulch, just east of Gonna Pee in a Bag Forever Flats.
Oh, is that Absaroka Indian? Maybe Creek?
It's actually English for not in my job description. No! Oh!
Like with so many games, part of the beauty of Firewatch comes when you don't know what to expect. It's the unfolding and the experience that makes the game so great, and let's face it, something like Firewatch arguably is more experience than game. So often the idea of spoilers is thrown around relating to the end of the game or some major plot twist contained within, but for something like Firewatch I found one of the most impactful moments happened right at the beginning, perhaps before the game itself had even started. If someone had told me outright, oh, so that's why Henry's gone to the forest, my relationship with the character would have been much less rich, much less invested, and much less enjoyable. So, what can I tell you about Firewatch? It's 1989. You play the game through the eyes of Henry, a 40-something guy who's looking to spend a summer as far away from his real life as possible. He's packed a few belongings into a bag and headed off to an observation tower in the middle of a Wyoming national park. And that's where the fun begins.
That storm knocked out the phone line I used to talk to the service, which means we're cut off.
I'll see what I can do.
You think you'll take to it? Being out here? The isolation gets to people.
Firewatch is a very lonely game. It's a very personal game. You, and Henry, can spend literally hours wandering around the forest without seeing another person. Everything Henry sees, you see. That includes his pudgy fingers fumbling with a map or a compass, his feet stumbling on a path, and the change of perspective as he scrambles up a rock wall. Henry is not one of those typical video game heroes, which again lends itself beautifully to the ridiculously personal nature of the game. And there's another person who adds to that personal nature. Delilah, the woman who's doing the same job as you in the next tower over. You interact with her through a two-way radio, so even though she's not physically there with you, you're not really alone. She is more than just a quest giver, although she is the one who tells you what to do. She's a fully fleshed out character, if a disembodied voice can be fleshed out. When I stumbled upon a particularly beautiful view, my hand was on the radio to talk to Delilah about it. She answered my questions, reassured my fears, and told me some terrible, terrible jokes.
What's in this cave down here?
NFS tells people not to go too far in there. It's pretty dangerous. You're in it, aren't you?
It doesn't seem that dangerous. Whoa! Ah, no!
Henry!
Seriously, it's completely fine in here.
Damn it.
I loved the radio mechanic. Playing on PC, I had to push left shift every time I wanted to talk to Delilah, holding the key to select a dialogue option, and then letting go in order to send it, just like a real two-way radio. It was intuitive and clever, and the hold and release element just added to the experience.
I found a little trowel. Maybe I should take it with me. Could use it to pop open beers.
Wow, 99% sure that's for burying poop.
And I'm holding it.
Maybe drop it?
A few years ago, when I was in California, I saw a sign for a summer camp advertising all the fun things you could do at this particular location. There were the usual warm weather things, swimming and hiking and making things, but there was one attraction I could not comprehend. Campfires, it said. Campfires and fireworks. Having grown up in, as we were all constantly reminded, the driest state in the driest continent on Earth, the idea of voluntarily lighting fires and fireworks in summer seemed unnecessarily risky and more than a little foolish. So when I opened Firewatch, all beautiful forests and spindly observation towers, it felt relaxing and reassuring that there was someone else who understood that, at certain times of the year at least, that was something you did not do. When one of the first things I was asked to do in-game was go find people setting off fireworks, berating them for lighting sparks in the tinder-dry wilderness, it felt almost like home. The actual story, the landscape, the soundtrack, the voice acting, the camera that gives you real-world prints, it all just added layers to something that was an all-too-brief moment of pure escapism. I can understand why some people might not like it, but for me, at least, Firewatch was wonderful.
2 young women have been reported missing. You're probably the last person to have seen them.
Hey, you fucking kids! Somebody cut the comms.
What?
I'm out here and the wire is cut clean through.
Wait, you're already there? You're not in your tower?
No, I'm not.
Then who is?
And that's about it for this edition of Player Attack. Thanks for watching. Next week, we're at the mercy of Mother Nature. Again, with procedurally generated survival sim The Flame in the Flood, while we dip our toes into the murky MMO waters of brand new one, Black Desert Online. In the meantime, you can catch us at playerattack.com. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And if you've got something you want to say, send us an email, mailbox@playerattack.com, or just hop on our forums. Till next week, I'm Jessica Citizen, and this is Player Attack.